Let's go to a video you put up, which touches on immigration and I think touches on identity. But let me play this first. Now, this was your tweet said this was an area you grew up in South Manchester. What were your thoughts? I mean, when you see something like this happening in somewhere that you begin to think of it in a different way than if it's just the media throwing up a video somewhere in the world.
Again, that video doesn't surprise me. This has been going on for decades. I live literally 2 minutes down the road from that place. That's called Wilmslow Road, the Covey Mile in Rusholme. My family still live in the house I grew up in. Doesn't surprise me. And that's not the issue. The issue for me is, at this moment in time, our communities are rubbing against each other. And we've seen riots on the streets. And what we don't need is white hooligans throwing bricks at the police and burning down libraries and setting fire to hotels. But we also don't need other communities who have not integrated rubbing our noses in it that, look, we're here and we don't feel English and we pretend that we're not English, we're Pakistani. And we left Pakistan once it became independent because we didn't want to live in a country run by Pakistanis. We wanted to come to a country run by English people. And now we're here. We want our area to be Little Pakistan. And we're going to celebrate Pakistani Independence Day because we feel Pakistani, not English. And this is a good example of our failed integration in the UK. This is a good example of failed multiculturalism, where you can live side by side with people and you don't think you're the same as them. You think you're better than them. You think you're different to them. And you would rather celebrate a foreign holiday than celebrate a traditional English holiday. These people don't come out and celebrate St. George's Day. These people didn't come out and show condolences when our late Queen died. Because these people have a British passport, but don't feel English and tell us they're not English. They tell us in that clip, we're Pakistanis. And I don't want to live with Pakistanis. I want to live with English people. And English people may be Muslim. English people may have brown skin, but they're still English. I don't want to live with foreigners in my country. And that's what that clip is celebrating. And if we don't get a grip of this, I foresee mass violence. We've had a little taste a couple of weeks ago, but that's the future of this country. If politicians who are not stupid don't get a grip of this, multiculturalism only leads in one direction, and it's mass violence and murder. We've seen it in too many countries. We've seen it in Rwanda, 1 million people hacked to death with machetes. We've seen it in Yugoslavia. We've seen it in Nazi Germany. We've seen it all over the world, and it will come here if we don't get a grip.
And I echo what you say. This is not about color or ethnicity or religion. This is about identity and connecting with where you are. And I've been in London 22 years, but come from Northern Ireland where you celebrate identity. We clash over it and have wars over it, but you celebrate that identity. Then you come here and I think, what do you mean you don't celebrate St. George's Day? And that's really surprised me. The conversations I've had in London, now London isn't an English city anymore, of course, but the conversations I have with people, and people are oblivious to the fact that actually they don't even celebrate the identity of their own nation. But it's lack of integration, and London is a ghettoized city, and I think that's the problem we're having across the UK. We're having these ghettos, which is where the clashes come from.
This is a multi-complex topic about the English and our lack of identity and our lack of preserving our identity. And I've come to the conclusion it's over many things. So it's about stupid people, stupid politicians. It's also about weak men. Weak men damage their country. It's strong men who protect the country, protect tradition, protect children, protect women. And we don't have that anymore. And then I think this began 100 years ago with a feeling of English superiority. This is the greatest country ever to exist. We modernized the world. We conquered a quarter of the world. And we looked down upon everybody else. And we pretended that their cultures, their countries were better than they really were. And we pretended they were to make them feel better. A little bit like we do with the Paralympics. We cheer the Paralympics, partly because we feel sorry for these people, they're disabled. Another part of us makes us feel better. Oh, you go, you've got no legs, you're amazing. Yeah, they're amazing for what they can do, but that's not why we celebrate the Paralympics. Same with children's sports days. You're all winners, all get a certificate. And the English went for a phase 100 years ago of doing that to other countries to make them feel better because we knew we were superior. And then things changed over the last 100 years that we don't celebrate our culture now. We're a beige country. We have no culture. But do you know what? We really do. And do you know what our culture is? It's called world culture. That's why no one can ever identify English culture. It's because it's been adopted basically by the world. So when we look at what the world does, well, that's English, that's England, that's our culture. And we don't realise that. And then on top of that, weak men, stupid people. And England is dying, and we can see it dying. And the question I ask myself all the time, and I tell people to ask themselves, if England fails, where do the English go? Because many people in this country have got a second home and can go somewhere else. Where do the English go? Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers, I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.